The sun is shining, we've got a bucket full of treats, there are animals everywhere. Life doesn't get much better than this.
And have we got a treat in store for you? Because over the next 3 weeks, we're going to be bringing you a series of specials from across the safari park.
And we're having an amazing summer.
I haven't got any more. I'm used to being upstaged by newer, younger models.
This is how you do it. Oh! People have no idea how hard it is on Animal Park.
Oh, I have to say, I do love coming back here every year. Oh, a little annual reunion,
I know.
Isn't it? And nothing changes, Ben. I know my lines, you just, well, wing it.
I'd like to call it carefully crafted spontaneity,
Oh,
Kate.
would you? Would you? Come on, then. What sort of animal is that, Ben?
He's called Norman.
Nothing really does change. But welcome to another special series of, remember?
Animal Park. You're so mean. Today's programme is kicking off with loads of new arrivals. Wilma the cheetah might be pregnant, but for the keepers, it's an opportunity of a lifetime.
We've never caught any of our lions or any of our animals giving birth.
But will Wilma perform for the cameras?
A nerve-wracking first date is lined up for an enormous antelope.
It's a little bit like taking your boyfriend to meet your parents, combined with your kid's first day at school.
But will the new boy set pulses racing or make the girls run for the hills?
3, 2, 1.
And Jean helps the newbies make a splash in the penguin pool.
Lovely to see them jump right in and off they go.
This is Evie. She's a pancake tortoise, can you see why? And she was born here in 2010. And of course, every animal that's born at the park holds a special place in the keepers' hearts. But if it's a vulnerable species, that is particularly exciting. Although some animals are very good at hiding the fact that they're pregnant.
Come on, Wilma. Good girl, Poppy. In the cab. Go them.
So here they come.
Rumours are flying that Wilma the cheetah might be pregnant. 3 months ago, she was spotted mating with Beau Carl. If she is pregnant, she could give birth any day. But these big cats are naturally secretive. Last series, Wilma surprised keeper Amy and her team when she gave birth to Poppy and twin Winston.
It's great that we finally managed to get them breeding, even though we didn't know she got pregnant.
Yeah, very sneaky.
A year on, and the cubs are nearly as big as Mum. If Wilma is expecting again, she's not giving anything away. Head of Operations Darren Beasley knows just how tricky reading these cats can be.
The signs are actually sometimes really quite slight or quite mild. And if you think about it the other way is, you know, you're carrying babies inside you. There's a heck of a lot of risk because you've got to go somewhere without anybody knowing, lay down, give birth normally, or if you do lay down, give birth, and as if nothing's happened, then look after your young.
Good girl, Poppy.
90% of cheetah cubs born in the wild die within the first 3 months, with more than half of them falling prey to lions and hyenas. But even in captivity, these cats are vulnerable. It's been suggested that lack of genetic variation could make them more susceptible to disease.
In the wild, there's lots of dangers. You know, cubs get taken by all the other predators and mum gets disturbed and she moves them. You know, some make it through, but there's a heck of a lot of risk. And even in the knowledge we have in the zoo and the safari park world, yeah, the odds aren't good. And she might have 2, 3, 4, 5. They could even have more sometimes, but you're lucky if you get one.
Darren and his team don't want to miss the birth this time, so we're rigging up cameras, determined not to miss a moment. If we succeed, it will be a first for the park and an invaluable insight into the breeding of Africa's most endangered big cat.
We've never caught any of our lions or any of our animals giving birth, so this would be fantastic if it works.
James, our cameraman, is making sure the camera is high enough not to cause Wilma any stress.
We don't want to put anything up before, literally the day before she's about to give birth. And hopefully it's out of the pen, so it'll be out of the way. She probably won't even see it.
everyone is desperate for our specialist infrared cameras to capture the action this time.
For the carnival guys last year to miss the action, you know, on their very first cheetah births, they're still reeling from it now. This time, we're going to get it right.
I've never seen a cheetah give birth. Knowing these cheetah, it would be really special to see it. So, yeah, fingers crossed we'll have a really successful birth and we'll have more cubs.
We'll be back later to find out if our cameras and Wilma deliver.
Anne is one of Europe's oldest elephants. She arrived here in 2011, after a lifetime in the circus. Since then, a small group of keepers have worked tirelessly to improve her body and her mind. Today, I've got a summer special treat for her. There's nothing we like more on a hot summer's day than a cold ice lolly. But are elephants the same? Well, I've come up to see Kevin and magnificent Anne to find out whether she also likes an ice lolly. This is what we call an elephant's ice lolly. Look at that. I mean, that is a thing of beauty. How long has it taken you to make that?
The actual prep is quite easy. It's just chopping a bit of fruit and then putting some water in the bucket and put it in the freezer. So it's pretty easy to do.
Now, elephants would never encounter ice in the wild. What's she going to make of it?
I think when we've done it in the past, she's really enjoyed it. She's normally broken up with her feet or just put it straight into her mouth. But she does enjoy the cold sensation. Elephants like all the sort of feelings and stuff, so she can feel that. The cold sensation on the tongue would be brilliant for her.
You haven't put a stick in it. How's she going to hold it?
I know. I reckon she's going to try with a trunk, but it might slip out and we'll see what happens. She'll probably break it into smaller pieces.
So how would it's actually so cold, I'm going to put it down for a second. How would you advise I give it to her? Do I just pass it through? Should I throw it
I
over?
think the best thing is just throw it on the ground just in front of her.
Okay, Anne.
And let her do the rest.
Giant ice lolly coming through. I'm going to throw it just near your foot. Are you ready, Anne? Here it comes. Okay. Let's see what. So she knows it's there.
Yep. She'll smell that as well, because obviously it's got the oranges in it, so she'll smell all that. She'll
Look at that.
test it with her trunk to see what it is. She can feel what it is.
She's doing exactly what you said. She's crushing it with her foot.
Just get smaller pieces, and then she'll put it in her mouth and just crunch it up, and the sound will be brilliant.
Is she quite picky from day to day?
She can be. She definitely can be. We know she definitely doesn't like parsnips.
Look at the strength of that, just breaking it up.
I know, that's 3.5 tons of pressure there going straight down.
And amazingly agile. That is comparatively for an elephant anyway, quite a small block of ice.
That's it. No, she's very good with her trunk and her feet there.
How sensitive is her trunk? Can she feel the cold through that?
Definitely, she can feel it, and then the trunk will, wrap around the ice and try and pick it up. But it might be a little bit slippy this morning.
And look, she's got a big piece. That's a very large piece of ice cream headache. Yeah, a little bit. That was a little bit slippery. And presumably, whether she does actually enjoy eating it or not, this is all about keeping her entertained, giving her different things to busy her.
Yeah, we try and do all sorts. So sometimes we do a scatter feed throughout the whole paddock, and other times we'll put a big lump in one place so she goes to one place. It's just trying to help her keep moving, but just thinking and doing stuff all the time.
Well, she's enjoyed that so much. Should we give her the second lolly?
I think so, definitely.
Here we go. Let's get this out. Okay, Anne, another one to break up. Okay. You ready? Another ice lolly coming through. You ready, Anne? There we go. Enjoy. Kevin, she's looking in amazing health. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Enjoy it, Anne.
In this series, there are more new arrivals than ever before. They're coming from across the globe, and babies are being born right here. Jean will be working with the keepers to help all the new arrivals settle in. Today, she's starting at the Meerkat enclosure, where 4 newborn pups are taking their first tentative steps into the world.
Alessandra, who's inside this tyre?
So inside this tyre, we've got 4 very small, very cute meerkat pups.
Oh, I'm desperate to see them.
We get them out?
Yeah, please.
So these guys are just under 10 days old. Got a little one here. So we pop some gloves on.
Yeah.
And then if you just rub your gloves in the sand for me.
Oh, okay. Why am I doing this?
So we're doing this so that we basically don't smell like us and we smell more like them. So that way when Mum comes back to the babies, they're not going to smell any different. So I'll pop the meerkat pup into your hands.
Wow, just 10 days old. Hello, gorgeous. And what a noise they make for something so small. quite loud?
Very loud and very feisty for something so small.
Oh, can they see?
So they can't see at the moment. Their eyes don't open until they're about 14 days old, and their ears aren't even open yet. So the ears will take about 10 days to open as well.
Look at that, that's what a tiny meerkat looks like.
So normally we wouldn't be weighing them this early, but Mum's never had 4 pups before, so we just want to make sure that they're all doing very well.
Yeah.
And that she's feeding all of them. So what we do, if you pop her into, just into the box there.
Right, just put
That's
it in
it.
there.
We'll get a nice weight off of them. 58 grams is very, very good.
And having 4 of them, how does she feed them all?
Well, actually, it's not Mum that's feeding them. It's her daughter, Indy, that's feeding them. Our mum, Cassie, isn't very interested in them. She never really has been.
Why?
She's just not really a good mum.
We know with the meerkats, all their relationships are quite unconventional, shall we say. So it's kind of another example of them all just, the whole mob, helping out, isn't it?
Yeah, working together as a team to get the job done.
And that's completely normal within the meerkat mob, that others will step in and help mother.
Yeah, so all the aunties and youngsters will play a part in it. They will help look after the youngsters. They'll help teach them how to go and look out, how to kill things like scorpions and snakes in the wild, which is obviously very important.
How long will it be before this little guy's full grown?
Well, he'll be out of the tyre, out of Mum's little den in about 3 or 4 weeks, running around with the others. And then from that moment on, it's just speed to speed. You know, it just grows so fast. I'll put this little one back.
Right, on you pop, cutie. Oh.
So 54,
Are you
again,
happy with that?
Really good.
So that's great. All these guys are at a perfect, healthy weight. And I'm sure it won't be long before I see you out there on the mound with all the others. Well done. So cute.
When new animals arrive at the park, they can't just turn up and walk right in. It takes a huge amount of preparation to ensure everything is just right so that the animals can settle in as quickly as possible, and to give them the best chance of bonding with the other animals in the park. After all, they're the strangers in town. And a few months ago, Leia was nervously preparing for the arrival of her newest charge, a species of eland, Africa's largest antelope.
Today we're getting our eland winter pens ready for our new arrival tomorrow morning. We're expecting a new eland bull to come in so we can get our herd breeding again.
It's been 3 years since the herd's legendary bull, Nakuru, died. The whole park has been on lockdown for 2 years due to an outbreak of tuberculosis on the wider estate. No new animals have been allowed in or out.
It's had a huge impact on the eland herd over the past year. The females haven't really moved together as a coherent herd. They've been looking for direction, and they're looking for a new male to take the reins, really.
The hope here is that the big new male will dominate the herd, causing them to unite. They won't meet until after a 30-day quarantine, but Leia has a few tricks up her sleeve to give him the heads up on his new harem.
So put a little bit of the rest of the herd's dung in here just to kind of give him a bit of smell of the rest of the herd. This is a bit like kind of giving him cheat notes on the rest of the herd, really. Kind of a bit of a kind of a, I don't know, almost like a dating profile for the other girls.
Eland bulls are in high demand because they're part of an international breeding programme. It's taken head of safari John Merrington 8 months to find and secure the ideal candidate.
It's not an easy task. It would be a lot easier if one was available within this country, but because we've bred so many, we're almost a victim of our own success. There's a number of our offspring already at other collections within the UK, so those ones are related to ours.
John has been searching zoos all over Europe for a male of the right age that's not related to the park's current females, and he thinks he's found the perfect boy. Norman.
We've got a huge family tree for Norman that goes back 11 generations all the way to his wild founders. It's very rare, actually, that you get a family tree this complete. So we've got the full picture here. I can see he's not related to our girls. Another thing that's important to look for is there isn't any history of inbreeding between some of the descendants. So he's got a fantastic family tree. So he's a brilliant candidate to now breed with our girls and sire the next generation of eland. It's so exciting. I can't wait for him to arrive.
Well, the wait is almost over. The big lad everyone hopes will unite the fragmented herd is on the premises. In the wild, some male eland will lead enormous herds. The safari park has a herd of 9. Head keeper Ryan needs Norman to step up.
Norman has some pretty big boots to fill because our previous bull, Nakuru, was an absolutely outstanding animal. He was more or less perfect in every way.
Nakuru was nearly 2 meters to the shoulder, 3/4 of a ton, with 65-centimeter horns and 32 offspring. Nakuru has set the bar high for Norman.
He was just physically stunning, a beautiful-looking animal. He was an exceptional example of what a bully lamb should look like. Powerful around the shoulders, wonderful muscle definition.
Yeah, so no pressure on Norman when he comes in. He's got big shoes to fill. Yeah.
It's a tense time as the giant crate is finally lowered into position. Amazingly, the keepers have never actually seen Norman. All they have to go on is his family tree.
We won't know until he comes out of the crate what we've got effectively. So hopefully he'll be a very good-looking but impressive fellow.
It's at that point, once everybody's in place and is ready, that we lift the slide on the crate to let him go.
Finally, it's time to meet the stud that will take control of this herd of girls.
So small, isn't he? Oh, what a sweetheart.
Norman, it turns out, is a little smaller than anyone imagined, approximately 1/4 of the weight of Nakuru. This young lad is perhaps more big softy than big stud.
Actually, I'd probably say he's a little bit smaller than I was thinking. So he's got a bit of growing to go, I think. But it looks like he'll fill out and fill his role really nicely.
Well, Norman has 30 days to figure out how to become the big buck. Because outside, there's a herd of eland looking for a leader. But will they fall in line or chase him off?
For the last few days, Wilma the cheetah has been showing signs that she's going into labour. Keepers Caleb and Amy have been keeping a close eye on her.
So she was nice and relaxed, so even as approaching the house, she was relaxed, she was sat there, quite happy.
If they're right, it's extremely exciting news for everyone.
You're right, Carl. That's a good boy.
In preparation for the suspected birth, Wilma has been put in her own pen. Specialist cameras should record every moment.
Are you okay, Wilms? How's your baby doing? A couple of the keepers have seen like a ripple through her stomach of like the muscles contracting, and they've seen that a couple of times, and she just seems a little bit restless, so sort of shifting her balance and her weight from different sides.
Cheetahs naturally hide signs of going into labour. In the wild, this is when they're at their most vulnerable from predators.
She was out with her daughter Poppy in the section yesterday, and she started to sniff around her belly and things like that, which makes us think that she's possibly lactating. And then when she's lying down, she seems to lie out a bit more on her side, sort of with her belly a little bit flatter to the ground. So it's all hopeful signs, but to be honest, she does such a good job of hiding it because she wouldn't want to announce to animals in the wild that she's pregnant or heavily pregnant, because it could be seen as a weakness.
If we do manage to record the cheetah cubs being born, it will be a first for the team at Longleat, but there are no guarantees.
It might not happen, you know, we're going to run the camera every single night when we think she's due. But it might be that she shields it, she lays the wrong way, she goes to the edge of the camera scope.
Hopefully the cameras are in the right spot, because any footage they capture will be a valuable resource.
It's a great tool to use going forward so we can see, is there anything that could we have made her bed more comfy? You know, how does she react when she gives birth? Does she turn around and clean them? Does she leave? We can learn from that.
We're just excited to see the footage of what Wilma does and how she behaves. And that early footage as well is crucial to the health of those cubs. So we're looking to make sure that they suckle straight away and that she's cleaning them properly and there's no early problems.
In some parts of Africa, as few as 5% of cubs make it to adulthood. But even in captivity, the odds are stacked against them. Putting a monitor by the door means the team can check up on mum and cubs without disturbing them. But now all they can do is wait.
I think we were really lucky with Poppy and Winston last year, and what I've actually had to do is I've had to play down expectations with the carnivore team. If we get a live cub of any sort, I'll be pleased, and so will the cheetah population.
The next morning, Caleb and Amy are in early to check on Wilma. They're looking for any signs that Wilma might have given birth.
Looking in, I can see Wilma's sort of, she's led over something.
She's
got her paws around something.
Can't see any cubs at the minute.
Come in. Amy, you can see two.
Oh, she's moved.
From this distance, it looks like she's just got the
There's
two.
definitely two. She's just moved, obviously, as we've come in. The way she sat, there doesn't seem to be any more, but there's definitely two. Seem to be really healthy cubs there at the front. So
they're big and strong, aren't
they? Look very big, don't they?
And she looks as chilled out as, you know.
She's really chilled out.
She looks really good. Yeah, it's good. It's really exciting.
Wilma's done her job, but have the cameras.
Each morning and night we've come in, reviewed the footage, and the pressure's definitely on because, yeah, you don't want it to be you that's the one that's forgotten to press record.
The only way to find out is to hit rewind and hope for the best.
Oh my God.
We got it! The first cheetah birth to be filmed at the park. They arrived yesterday at 4:26 p.m, only half an hour after Wilma came in for the night.
It just literally just pops out and then she rolls over.
The most interesting thing is she's burying it straight away. I think in the wild she must try and cover it to cover the smell, and because if she was, you know, potentially going to have the second one, I think she's worried about the first one moving around and making a noise and all that kind of things. Great to see that she's got all those natural instincts.
That high-pitched yelp is the cub's first cry. It's a great sign, and we would never have heard it without the cameras.
I think it looks like she's about to give birth again.
The first cub's suckling, it's just between her back legs.
An hour later, cub number 2 makes its way into the big, wide world.
The fact we've caught this on camera, yeah, unbelievable, really.
Oh, it's incredible. The best thing about it is 2 cubs further away from extinction.
The footage assures Amy and Caleb that Wilma and the cubs are doing well. They're now confident they can move in for a closer look.
Oh my goodness. Oh, that's amazing.
This.
Oh. You're a good mum, aren't you?
Good girl.
That's incredible.
Yeah. They look really strong and healthy.
They look
really.
great, don't they?
They've got tiny little spots already as well, and they've got that grey sort of coat, so you can almost start to identify them straight away.
This is great to see that they're moving around, they're really active, and they're going to suckle, they're trying to find milk, and she'll let both suckle at the same time, which is great. It is touch and go. The first week or so, you have to be really careful. We restrict the amount of staff that come up here and come in and see her, but so far she's doing a great job, so yeah, fingers crossed.
It's an incredible moment, but Amy and Caleb know that the odds remain stacked against cheetah cubs making it through the first few days.
4 more gloves from the back of the car for me. Got blankets? You got any heat pads? You know the ones you microwave?
As we discover later in the show.
Over on Penguin Island, the population is still recovering. 2 years ago, avian malaria claimed the lives of 26 Humboldt penguins. It was a tragic loss of life. But every sad ending is a chance for a new beginning. Jean's with the keepers tasked with trying to rebuild the colony, and today they've got some great news.
Hi, girls. Hello. This is exciting. Can we go for it? Of course we can. Open the door. Who do we have here? So here we have 3 new penguins, Humboldt penguins, to join our colony. Right, let's get them in. Yeah. Hello. This is the first time I've welcomed new animals in. is all new to me, so what happens now? Do you just let them out?
We've got to give them a bit of a health check first, make sure they handle the transport okay.
Yeah.
As well as we're going to tag them with our own individual tags, because each zoo will have its own different system, and just checking their microchip as well.
Right, let's get the first one out.
Come on in. Out you come.
No, thank you.
Out you come. Come on out. There you are. There you go, sweetie. Hello.
So at this point, straight into the health check.
2242. That would be Peanut. This one's a boy, so we're tagging on the left wing.
Welcome to your new home, sweetie. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that him ready to join the others?
One more thing. We always check their feet before we move them into the colony. So they're prone to something called bumblefoot.
And what are you looking for on this?
So looking for any signs of bumblefoot, so it almost looks like a scab.
Right.
So that bit there looks like could have had a tiny bit of bumblefoot in the past, but nothing to worry about.
Okay.
Both feet are perfectly healthy. Yeah, so one down, 2 more to go.
So once these 3 are added, how many will be in the colony?
So we'll actually have 15 in the colony, and that is going to increase our numbers as well, and then we're going to add another 4, so we'll have a total of 19, bringing in fresh blood and basically new penguins will basically mix up the group and make them want to breed with each other, pair up with each other. So naturally in the wild they live in really large colonies, so that's what we want to do here.
It's actually really exciting, isn't it?
It is. It's so much fun bringing in new penguins, as they've all got their own personalities and characters.
Yes.
And it's basically adding a family member to your colony.
This one's a little bigger than the other 2, isn't it?
Move that box.
So this one is called Duck.
Almost time to join the others.
And we'll be back later when these newbies meet the rest of the penguins for the first time. Each day, more than 100 staff care for just over 1,000 animals in the park, from newborns to old-timers. It's the keeper's job to see to it that each resident gets exactly what they need to thrive.
Come on, Chowry. Good girl. Well done, Sundari.
Now, we already know that on a hot summer's day, Anne the elderly elephant loved my ice lolly. But what will these Amur tigers make of Kate's?
You can never, ever get tired of seeing a tiger. Caleb, it is always such a treat to see these old girls. They are looking a little bit older these days, aren't they?
They are getting on, unfortunately, yeah.
Now, last time I was here, it was a very sad time because Svetli, the other female, had died.
Yeah.
How are they getting on with just the 2 of them?
They're getting on really well, yeah. They're 12 years old now, which, you know, in the wild would mean that they're probably past it, really.
Really?
They're ancient in comparison to... But in captivity, they can live anything up to 20 years, but, you know, they just sort of slow down a little bit. They've still got the energy and the enthusiasm when they want to, but when they're not interested in something, they're quite happy to just sit and sleep now, so... Yeah.
I know exactly how they feel. And what about things like, I don't know, like teeth and claws, things that would wear out very quickly in the wild and obviously have an impact on what they can eat?
Our girls are still in perfect health. Their teeth are good, their claws are still good. But obviously we'll just look after them as they get older and treat all those conditions with their teeth and their claws and things.
Are you spoiling your old lady?
Yeah, we like to spoil the tigers, yeah, definitely. So we've got them some ice lollies. So we've got a blood ice lolly.
It's a lovely warm day, not terribly sunny today, but still warm. Do they like having something that kind of cools them down?
Yeah, because they're Siberian tigers, they like it when it's cool. Ice blocks and loads of water enrichment is great for these guys.
So you've got a blood ice lolly there.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be my favourite.
No.
And what about this one? What's
and that one's got fish in it as well.
Oh, yes, it has.
Because
brilliant. So it's like a frozen tin of sardines.
Fish is their favourite treat as well, and also it's good for their joints and things. Those sort of those oils and things. So it works for them as well in that respect.
Should we see if Shari likes that one?
Yeah.
Look. Oh, lucky girl. Oh, my God. I was saying, I was worried about her teeth, but there's nothing wrong with those gnashes by the look of them.
Are you going to lick it? No, you're just going to take it.
For an old girl, she's still got all her strength and everything, hasn't she?
Yeah, there's no way I'm holding on to that.
Oh, now, here, look.
Sundari.
Sundari, look what I've got.
Sundari, you've got one too.
Look. Yummy. Will she still stand up?
Yeah, she'll still stand up.
Come on. Oh, you are the most beautiful cat in the world. Look at that. Do you want to just have a lick?
Oh, well done, Sundari.
Look at that. And that wonderful rasping tongue that they use. That's what they use to strip the bones in. Is that nice? What a good girl you are. Oh, Caleb, it's such a treat to see them.
I know.
It's such a treat to see them.
They're incredible, aren't they?
So is it true that there might be some young tiger blood coming
yes,
into the
it is
park?
true.
Really?
We're having 2 new tigers come into the park, a male and a female.
And if you're getting a male and female, does
Yes.
that mean that you're hoping for the pitter-patter of giant tiger feet?
We are indeed, yeah. We're hoping they're going to get along and breed.
Well, hugely exciting times to come in the tiger enclosure.
Definitely.
Thank you so much. But don't you worry, old girls. You're not going to be upstaged by young blood. You're still gorgeous.
We'll be introducing you to the first tigers to arrive at the park in 7 years, later in the series.
There's nothing we love more at Animal Park than when the animals become proud mums and dads to little uns. But Mother Nature isn't always kind, and sometimes there can be complications in the first days or even weeks of life. But luckily, the park's vets are well trained to deal with traumas, but that doesn't mean that it isn't worrying when something bad happens.
4 more gloves from the back of the car for me. Got blankets. You got any heat pads? You know the ones you microwave?
The vet has been scrambled to the cheetah house.
Unfortunately, this young, I suspect it's cold and hungry.
Keeper Matt wants Chris to look at one of the cubs. It appears to be in a critical condition.
This morning I came on to check on the cubs, and unfortunately I found one of them kind of lifeless. At first I thought the cub had passed away. No movement at all, and then suddenly it started making these weird movements with its legs and gasping for air.
On the last check, the cub had been feeding from Mum, but it's possible that in the night, Wilma rejected her cub.
You've got 2 options. You either try and keep it warm and get it feeding here, or you take it into the practice. They could put it under heat lamps, on heat mats.
This cub needs warmth and food immediately.
It's become cold, it's not very active, it's got low blood sugar, I suspect. So the first thing we need to do is try and separate the cub off from the mother so we can warm it up and give it the best chance of surviving. So it's not looking great right now.
To safely retrieve the rejected cub, meat is thrown into an opposite pen to lure Mum away. Cheetahs are fast, powerful animals, and Wilma will stop at nothing to protect the cub she's still caring for.
It's really cold. Your best bet is to get this into the surgery, and I wonder if it's actually been led on because there's a bit of blood coming out of its nose.
Wilma might have pressed up against her cub, causing an injury, but the only thing that's certain now is that this cub is fading fast.
I don't think we can leave her with Mum.
Wrapping the cub up as quickly as they can, Matt and keeper Eloise rush to the vet surgery. It's an anxious 4-hour wait for Eloise. Can the vet stabilise its condition?
It's a bit touch and go, but it's not looking too good at the moment, to be honest. You'd hope that Wilma will be a better mum because she knows what she's doing a bit more, but obviously they're so small, accidents happen, so just willing it to be okay and just devastating really. It's horrible.
The fate of this little cub is now in the hands of the vet team.
He's really cold at the moment, so he's quite floppy, so we'll just try and warm him up, and that would, once he's warm, he should have a bit more energy. His temperature's still too low to register on a thermometer at the moment.
We'll be keeping a close eye on this little one's progress.
Over on Penguin Island, Jean has the all-important task of releasing the newbies.
Earlier on, 3 new penguins, Indy, Peanut and Duck, arrived at the park. Now, they've had their health checks and they've been tagged, so we just need to let them out to see the new enclosure and hopefully meet the other penguins. How do you think this is going to go, girls?
It could go brilliantly. I'm hoping we'll open the doors and they'll all come running out straight into the pool. However, we could also open the doors with a big flourish and nothing will happen. It'll be a big anticlimax.
Well, let's see penguins. Hey, let's do it right. We'll take one each. Okay. Right, should we give it a 3, 2, 1? Come on in. There we go.
So we're just waiting for one to take the plunge, and then hopefully the other two will just follow.
Look at your lovely new pool. Well
She's
done.
off. No, this is the girl here.
Oh, well done. Right, just you? Oh, excellent. And are they just taking a minute to explore their new surroundings?
Yeah, so they'll take it all in. You see they're really stretching that neck and looking around the enclosure to see what's going on.
And they're in. Oh, they're in. Yay. Oh, that's lovely to see them jump right in and off they go.
Yeah, off for a swim, so feel really secure and comfortable in water. That's where they'd naturally go if there's any predators or anything scary around them. So they're quite content in water, and hopefully that'll be more relaxing for them when we bring our other penguins out.
Yeah, and how long will you wait for that? Will you let these three hang out on their own, or would you rather get the rest of the colony out as soon as possible?
They're actually due a feed, so we might as well bring them out for a feed and see if they clock each other and see what goes on from there. Penguins!
They're going to get a little surprise when they do come out, and there's 3 new penguins in their pool.
They usually do take newer things in their stride.
Oh, so here they come.
Yeah, they know exactly what we want from them when we call.
Hey, come on, guys. Come on. Got some new people for you to meet.
They've probably seen that there's new penguins, and they don't care because there's fish. Yeah, one's just come out.
One's coming out.
That's Peanut.
Oh. So they're seeing each other for the first time.
And you can see the girls don't care. They honestly don't care.
Yeah, they're actually not even really acknowledging each other.
As you can see, it's like they've been together all the time. The only difference is, as soon as one of the new ones jumps, that's it, they all jump in with them.
It's great that there's no issues.
Yeah, it won't be the introduction that will cause drama. It will be when they start looking for mates, when they start looking for nesting sites. There you can see that's Duck right next to Princess. She didn't even flinch. This is probably the smoothest introduction I've ever seen.
Is it nice to see your penguin colony getting bigger again?
It's brilliant, yeah, especially knowing that it's going to get bigger still.
It's been an absolute pleasure, and I'm delighted to welcome some new members to the penguin family.
Good boy.
Earlier in the programme, we and the keepers met Norman for the first time. Norman is an eland bull, the largest species of all antelope, but as we all discovered, he's still a tad on the small side. Young Norman has spent 30 days in quarantine under the watchful eye of Leia. Today, he'll be venturing out of his enclosure for the first time, and most importantly, mixing with the herd, all of which are somewhat bigger than he is.
There's a whole new world for Norman today, really. Because these girls have been without a bull for a year, it's really hard to predict who's going to react how. It's a little bit like taking your boyfriend to meet your parents, combined with your kid's first day at school. You don't really want them to run off and find friends and forget about you, but you also don't want them all to hate each other and everybody be aggressive and no one speak to each other ever again. It's like a rite of passage for him, bless him, meeting his new herd. Rob, do you want to start moving him down?
The dominant cow, Brandy, is currently in charge. Whilst it's often the males that are dominant, young Norman wouldn't stand a chance if Brandy decided to put him in his place.
Antelope are quite rough with each other. They can be quite aggressive, so I imagine there'll be some rough and tumble.
Brandy has clocked Norman.
Brandy spotted him or smelt him, and she's going to go find out what's going on.
Brandy bolting off alone to investigate is exactly the kind of behaviour the keepers hope will come to an end with Norman. A strong male could hold the herd together in a tight group, and this group hasn't had one for 3 years. But cool as a cucumber, Norman doesn't even seem to notice Brandy approaching.
He's absolutely filling his mouth with food. He's a greedy boy, he likes his food. It is the ultimate lesson in playing it cool.
Rather than spreading further apart, the herd is actually all congregated together by Norman and Brandy.
Norman is making a wide pass at some of the other girls and the females, so he's staying at a respectful distance, but he wants to seek reassurance from somebody. He's saying hello. They're saying hello. There's a lot of bum sniffing. So this is phlegm testing. So that's what males do to test if females are in season.
He's getting told off for doing it.
He's hardly the boss yet, but he's showing an interest, and the rest of the herd are gathering around. As first impressions go, our young lad seems to be doing pretty well.
So Brandy seems quite inclusive and quite keen that he follows the rest of them, which is brilliant. This is really, really amicable. I didn't expect it to be this calm at all. It's great. This could have gone really, really wrong. And the fact that it's been so calm and chilled is really promising sign that maybe, you know, soon we're going to get Eland babies.
Back at the vet's, the baby cheetah is fighting for its life.
So we're much more lively.
Eloise has gone to see if there's been any improvement.
Hello, little one.
Much brighter this afternoon. We can register the temperature now, so it's registering really nicely. It's up at about 37, which is great. This morning it was under 32. He's drank a little bit from the bottles that we've been using, which is good. Obviously, if he can go back up to mum and just see if he'll feed off of her and get him back in there, really.
Yeah. All right, little tweet. There you go, little tweeter. I'm so happy. I'm so relieved right now. Thank you so much, genuinely.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's nearly the end of the show, but Kate and I couldn't leave before giving you an update on young Norman. The good news is after a couple of months, a herd has formed with Norman at the helm. The bad news is today, they're all hiding in the hedge.
I can just see one in the dappled light down there. Tell us about Norman.
Norman's doing very well since he arrived. Yeah.
Because, I mean, I have to say, having seen him now in the flesh, he is a little bit little.
He does
Kate,
stand out.
size isn't everything.
But how have the females taken to him?
Really well, actually.
Right.
Just day one, day two, it took him, 48 hours maybe to ingratiate himself into the group. A couple of them just chased him away, kept him on the edge of the group. But inside of a week, really, he was well in there. So.
OK. And when you say well in there, any mating behaviour yet?
Nothing so far. We have seen him mount.
Right.
The odd animal, but I believe actually it's a younger male that he's just dominating. So he just needs to get that squared away,
right.
And then I think he's going to move on to the females.
Well, they certainly have their privacy because they won't let us get anywhere near them.
Well, fingers crossed that Norm continues to be a hit with the ladies. Thank you very much indeed. Maybe you need to do a bit of Eland charm school or something so that you can get a bit closer to them.
That's going to cost a lot of money.
Sadly, that really is the end of the programme, but here's what's coming up on the next Animal Park.
The baby cheetahs continue their fight for survival.
We managed to get a bottle into him. Hopefully he survives through the night.
Ben tries to train a porcupine.
We have a winner.
And the future of one of the world's rarest spiders is in the hands of our very own Spider-Man.